Hey guys, we are Beast Game Season 2 contestants. I'm here with Johnny, number 11 from the Smart Team, and Mitch, number 117 from the Strong Team. They were competing head to head in the block game, so we're just going to be kind of talking through their experience of the games and how that game really went down and just going in depth on that. And it's going to be fun. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Hey, thanks,
Good
August. Appreciate
vibes.
you, man.
Good vibes. Were you guys friends in the city? I don't remember.
So actually, my first interaction with Mitch was running around in the city, like flipping stuff over. He like had a secret bag of like who knows what, and I was begging Mitch. I was like, what'd you find, bro? What'd you find? And Mitch is playing hard to get. He's not giving me anything. So honestly, first impression, like, dude, this guy's annoying as heck, bro. What the heck?
I can't believe they didn't show that because, like, within a couple minutes of running into the city, I'm like, guys, this is a distraction. I'm gonna go looking for clues while everyone else is distracted by the pools and the bicycles. So I start flipping over furniture. I start lifting up rocks and those little moss circle things, and I
Bro.
find this little manila envelope underneath the couch. I quickly put it in my pocket, but Johnny's right there. He's like, "So what'd you find?" I was like, "Don't worry about it." And I just walk away.
Dude.
And
Dude, I
then
remember people were like finding fake immunity idols and like burying them.
yeah,
Do y'all remember that? I
yeah,
don't think they
Bro.
showed that on the show, but people were like trolling. I think Jim wrote like some like poem about immunity and like put it
yeah.
somewhere. Yeah.
Dude, it was crazy. So that envelope, I was hiding it in my pocket, and then after they explained like there's gonna be a first challenge coming up after the clock goes down, I start kind of like ganging up, people around me that I already kind of knew, and I pulled Jordan, number 93, behind a building. So I'm like, yo, I got a secret weapon because I was convinced because so many people said we're gonna like be building a rocket of some sorts. Like that rumor kept going around.
Building a rocket?
Yeah,
Dude, one of the funniest parts about Beast Games was the rumors, dude. Anything you'd say would just start to circulate. It was
so I'm
hilarious.
Spread
like,
like
bro,
wildfire, man.
I gotta get an engineer. So I pull him behind the building. I open up the envelope, and it's just the instruction manual to build the couch.
This is
It was
messed
a
up, yo.
complete dud.
That's
That
so
was messed
funny.
up.
That's so funny. I mean, the three of us, for context, I don't think the three of us really hung out much. Like I didn't hang out with each of you guys individually a whole lot, but I remember I met both you guys in Vegas pretty early on before we even started filming.
Yeah, we were floor
Johnny,
Yeah,
I
two,
don't.
bro.
What'd you say?
We were floor two.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Johnny, I know we were on the same floor and we chatted a decent amount, and then Mitch, I think it was like the day before filming. I think I asked you a question about like your tattoos or something, and then you told me about you're moving to Thailand, and then I remember because I do like TikTok stuff full time, and I know you remember. I remember you talking about how you did some TikTok shop stuff, and so we chatted about that. But
yeah. I mean, I would say I was generally like level two friends with like the whole cast, and then obviously we have our like people that we hang out with a ton.
because you were
We
closest with like Colby and Mark and
Yeah,
on
Mark
the
and
yeah.
Nate and even Jim, before he got into his, coupling, he was sort of in our in our group. And then I remember you were with like Jonas and all like the big boys with
Josh
the
and
longer
Nick
hair and
and
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, I never disliked any players except that
Everybody was
one.
pretty cool. There were a few
Yeah,
random people that I didn't like, but pretty much everyone was cool.
yeah.
Yep.
There's a few people, but
We can't all get along, right?
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so we made it. We all made it through the first challenge. That was pretty cool. And then we went to Wilmington for the second episode. That's when we went through the portal. What were y'all thinking when we were top 100? I mean, that was
Oh,
crazy. Already
surreal,
being
man.
top 100. Yeah, surreal. And then we get to Wilmington. Guards come in that white room, pull off their masks. It's the 10 OGs. I'm assuming you guys were fans of season one, but what was that experience like for you guys?
Oh, season one, guys, like I was a huge fan of Dino. Off rip, I just felt that he was kind of not necessarily done dirty, but like all the conversation, the dialogue surrounding him and his situation, and I was just kind of cringing at it. And seeing him, I was like, dude, this is an opportunity for him to get his redemption arc, for him to like kind of not necessarily clean his slate, but just to like bounce back because he gave up the opportunity to take $1 million home. I think
Yeah,
that's something that people just kind of conveniently forgot, right?
yeah, for
And I was
sure.
like, that's such a huge thing that people kind of dismissed, and it was good to see him again for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. What about for you, Mitch?
Yeah.
Oh man, when they took off those masks and I saw those season one people, like I just saw red in my eyes. I turned to everyone around me. I'm like, yo, we're all ganging up on these guys right the fuck now.
I love that you guys
Hey,
have such opposite responses. Johnny's like, this
Yeah.
is lit. Mitch like, these guys are going down, bro.
I'm like, I was like, you saw it in the show. I'm like, we're gonna steamroll them. They're soft. I was talking so much mad shit about them. I was looking right at Gage, and I was like, Gage, we ain't got underwear. We ain't got water in the city. Do you really want to
hey.
come back to this? And
We don't got
I'm
underwear.
like, think twice.
That's funny. That's funny.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
did not expect them to come back at all.
I think it was a cool concept though. It's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it was. I mean, all of them were super, super friendly and cool, except for one of the people. But and you guys
Who
could
is
probably guess who. But
oh Kareem?
no, Mia.
Oh.
Yo.
Yeah, I tried to talk to her like three individual times in the city, and just like really short answers, kind of standoffish. I'm like, okay, she's playing her cards to her chest. She's not really someone I could trust teaming up with, and I could trust basically the whole rest of the cast. So I just really kept my eye on her. But I talked the most to Akira because we waited those like little buses outside.
Uh-huh.
Because remember those like I think like a group of fans like found the building and they're trying to like break in and take pictures.
I don't know if
And
I remember that.
yeah, when we were outside eating the food, a bunch of people swarmed and they all like pushed us back into the building because they didn't want like paparazzi to get photos of like the players coming back. But yeah,
Yeah.
Kira was super nice, just
Yeah,
getting
good guy.
some nice data farming from him. But I talked to everyone. Dino, I went up to Dino. I'm like, yo, I don't agree with anything they're saying about you in season one. I would have made the same decision. I would have grabbed their closest friend to use it as a defense shield. It was a perfect play. It was a smart play. You can't get mad at people for competing at the highest level. That's
Of
what it's
course,
about.
yeah. Yeah, so then we got offered the option between what games. I chose balls, and I think I knew I was always going to choose balls just because obviously we weren't sure what the games were. But I remember thinking, like, okay, if I'm gonna win or lose at something, I want it to be something I feel confident in, and like I just felt the most confident in that. But you guys both ended up going with blocks. What was kind of the process behind that?
Yeah, I chose blocks because I there was the most people there, and people were
Huh.
gravitating towards
Hmm.
that idea. When I thought of balls, I was like, I didn't want to just if it was like a dodgeball-esque game and that was not the first idea, I didn't want to have to rely on, being half awake, being at my peak
Right.
physical,
Yeah.
aptitude and competing in that way. Balance. I mean, like I saw Mark doing handstands, Sarah doing handstands, and I'm like, I'm
Dude,
cooked.
I was terrified. I
Dude,
mean,
Handstand push-ups.
it ended up not being like the bounce like we were thinking, but I remember seeing that them and going, huh,
yeah, I
like
said I'm gonna turn this way. Absolutely not, absolutely not. I was gonna go between bluff and blocks because bluff. We had played poker one night in the city and I was doing fairly well, but when people quote unquote bluff, it becomes a game of chance. People can predict that you're
that's
lying
what scared
or
me
not.
away from it. Instantly, I
Exactly.
was like, not doing that. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So
Yeah.
I ended up on blocks and yeah, that's where I was. What about Mitch?
Man, I kind of had the same exact thought process. I was looking at the images on the screen and I was like, well, everything they've ever told us is a lie or a fake out. So this flaming ball going through the air, it looks like dodgeball or maybe like how fast you can throw type of game. But just because they always lie to you, it's got to be something opposite. And sure, I played a lot of sports, but that's like 15 years ago. I all I do is MMA and Muay Thai now, so my accuracy
Yeah.
might not be as good as I think it is.
Word.
I was thinking the bluff game, like I'm good at bluff, but someone could just guess, and I'm just out off of a stupid person's guess.
Yeah. The
And
first thing I
then,
thought of with Bluff was like briefcases. Like how
yeah,
the end of season one, that game, that's what I thought Bluff was going to be at like a larger scale. I
it
was like,
looked very chance based, and I
mhm.
hated anything chance based. Like if I wanted to get out, I wanted it to be because of my failure, and because I knew I'm always going to give it my all, even if I fail. It's not a true failure. No, I just wasn't the best that day, and I'm okay to live with that. And then the so there's blocks, balls, bluff, and the balance. The balance, man. I wasn't scared with the athletic part, but I'm like, dude, I could be balancing a dinner plate on a stick or like a cone
Yeah.
on my nose because they did that thing in season one where it was like a
Yeah,
glass ball on a
you're
thing.
right. Yeah.
And I'm like, that could be, we've been up for 24 hours. I'm chugging 8 Celsiuses a day. My blood pressure is probably through the roof. My hands might just shake in there. I might be cold. Who knows?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, let me just sit back and see who has the most amount of players. Because sure, my chances of going to the next round doesn't increase past 50%, but I'd rather have 20 available spots than six. And then
Yeah.
my second variable was let me see who has the least intimidating players, like the players that in their faces they look the most unsure of themselves. And I was looking in the blocks game, and people looked really, really nervous. So I had about like a minute and a half left. I stepped in the blocks, and then a few other strong people followed, and then we just kind of lucked out for it to be like the craziest strength-based game.
Right.
And
What a
yeah,
crazy game too. And
Yeah.
I'm not just saying this because I'm with you guys, but I think it was Josh that asked me this question. In fact, I think I posted the TikTok today. But someone asked me like what was my favorite game so far. 100% block challenge. And I wasn't even in it. But that was the coolest dude. I still like thinking back, I still can't even believe like I wasn't able to believe my eyes when I was watching you guys. I was like, what is happening? It looked so
Yeah.
crazy.
It was like definitely I mean, I'll be honest, I thought the obstacle course was really cool too. I mean, the way that
It
it
was
just like
cool. Yeah.
top down, the lights, it was dark outside, a little
Yeah.
bit of rain, like just like cinematic,
Yeah, it was
like
cinematic, yeah.
picturesque. It was cool. But I think blocks like comes next in terms of just pure spectacle, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we're in
such
the
such a
sand pit.
crazy idea. I
Yeah.
still don't even understand how it worked. Like it didn't make sense watching it. I'm like, how are they balanced up there while pulling up blocks, while climbing it, while stacking? I'm like, what is happening?
It was tough, man. You had to move in absolute slow motion and like control your breathing. And like, man, I mean, you guys saw. We'll talk about the whole process, beginning and end. But like, the biggest thing that I was kind of confusing to me watching it is that in person, the tower looked like 10 times as high as it does on TV.
Yeah,
Like for
for
some
sure.
reason, I thought they're gonna make it look even bigger, but the camera kind of made it look a little bit smaller in a sense. Because like when
You
you
guys were
step
up there.
back,
You guys were up
man,
there.
yeah, and then when you're up there, man, like you're so high, you're screaming down at your teammates, and like their voices aren't even reaching you because
Mhm.
the distance is so vast.
So what was the experience like for you guys when they first told you what the challenge was going to be? What was like what were you guys thinking? And I know
Pumped up.
Johnny, you ended up being a captain too. You should talk about your strategy for drafting.
Yeah, sure. Initially, I'll talk about when I learned about what the game was because we were brought into that initial white room. There was that little red block. Actually, August, I don't know if you saw this. I don't actually don't think you did at
They
all.
showed it in the show for 2 seconds, but yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
they didn't show us carrying in our extra blocks.
oh,
I
did
think
you?
either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
so
exactly right. We were given a few foam blocks that are, the size of like, I don't know, maybe like a 11-inch pizza box or something.
Yeah.
And then we walked into the room all kind of a little nervous, shit, looking around like, what are we gonna do with these blocks? And then Jimmy goes, "Toss those behind you. We're not gonna do the game here. We're going back to the city. See you later, nerds. Good night." And we're like, what the heck?
that's
And so we get
funny.
back on the bus, we go through the portal, and we walk up into the sand pit, and that's where everything goes down, where we come to the directions, drafting our team, and then actually doing the challenge, which was crazy. I think that drafting my team, I was not first and foremost, Mitch, not surprised that Corey chose you first. I think that Corey choosing the strength based players was wise. I think there was a little bit of there's camaraderie there that already existed. I
Mhm.
kind of thought that the OGs were a little undervalued. And I was kind of surprised that Corey didn't like jump into that boat or like jump into the OG basket until a little bit later because, like Dino, he's on the front lines like fighting wildfires after
Yeah.
season one, right? So I was like, I need somebody that can make decisions quickly, that can stay calm under pressure, and somebody that I actually kind of got to know a little bit off screen.
Mhm.
And Tawana's a literal wrestler, so she is not only has that same experience from season one, but she's also very strong. So
Yeah.
like I was kind of getting the best of both worlds, and a lot of people thought I was like brown nosing or like sucking up to that. I'm like, no, I'm like this. There was actual decision making.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some. I'm like, there's some logic. I mean, like I don't know if the people on Reddit knows like what goes into making a decision, but I don't think they saw that perspective. But
Yeah.
that's kind of where I was going with that.
And in hindsight, too, you probably see this now, but I think, and it's hard to know before the challenge even
Yeah.
happens, but I think one of the most valuable assets to have in that challenge is crackhead energy.
Yeah.
And the two people with the most crackhead energy on the whole season are Mitch and Colby. So like, you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't you kind of agree? You know what I mean? Like looking back, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
I would have felt. I will say, watching Corey pick Mitch, it would have felt pretty unnatural for me to like select Colby
For
because
sure.
I
Oh,
know that
for
like
sure.
because I know Mitch and Colby are like best buds, but it would
100%.
also do me a disservice because I wasn't exactly close with Colby at that point,
Uh-huh.
not nearly as close as with Mitch,
No,
and I was
100%.
really close with Dino. So it would just be like I'd be burning a first round pick on somebody I don't have a whole lot of rapport with,
Yeah,
and two, like I could be allocating that somewhere else.
for
But
sure.
man, like dude, you're totally right about just the hysteria required to carry you
Because,
through
dude,
6 to 7 hours of
I was
a
gonna say
lifting.
y'all took so long, and I'm sure if I was up there, I would have taken even longer. It's not that you guys weren't going hard; it was just that like such a hard challenge, and so yeah, like
Yeah.
to do that challenge into the wee hours of the morning. I mean, Mitch, you'll have to talk about your experience with that, but
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, honestly, like being in the games kind of benefited my natural like sleep and wake up schedule because I tend to go to bed super late, like 5 or 6 a.m., and then wake up around like noon. So like, work so like I kind of like a vampire-ish type sleep schedule
for sure.
where like, starting something high level that's very physical at like 1 or 2 in the morning is not out of the ballpark at all for my life. It's something I'm very, very used to. When I was
Mhm.
bodybuilding full time, that's usually when I would do my main workout because no one else would be there. But yeah, man, like going through that tunnel, Johnny, I don't know if I think we were pretty much like right next to each other. It was like
We
me,
were.
you, and Corey. We were in that little like shipping container underground, and we're looking up, and all we can see is the sky and these giant cranes like dangling over. So my thought was we're gonna play like a crane game where we're gonna have to like crane and pick up blocks and move
Oh.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I was asking people like, who has construction experience? Who's used a crane? And Corey was like, well, I've done it like a little bit, like 20 years ago. So I'm like Corey, I'm on your fucking team. I'm like, no matter what happens, we're together. But yeah, I mean, it felt really amazing being picked first for the team. Honestly, I don't think I've ever. Oh,
Oh, you lost me. My camera's
says internal temp
bugging.
high.
Go ahead, Mitch. Keep talking though. You're
Oh,
good.
oh, it said so I don't think I've ever been like picked first for like a team sport or a team activity like ever in my life. So that really like it was cool to get that feeling. And then right after he picked me, I whispered into Corey's ear, I'm like, yo, get Colby next. But in
Yeah.
my head, I'm like, yo, if Johnny picks Colby, it's gonna be me versus him, and it's gonna be a fight to the death. And I'm gonna have to basically battle my best friend in the show. Because my other best friend was Nate, my bunkmate, and he bribed out right
Yeah.
before. And then once we emerged from the city, I'm like, oh my god, like Mark's gone, like all these Jack's gone, like all these people that I had when we were making those 10 by 10 teams and all that drama was happening. Like half my squad got wiped out, so I'm like, oh my, I gotta find new people. But yeah, I was like, man, it looks very physical, but you don't know how long the game is going to last. We honestly thought we were going to speed run that game in 20 minutes. Like we were so sure of ourselves because we once
Hmm.
we got all the strong people, we were so confident. And obviously, honestly, like right when Colby got picked for second, I knew it was game over. I knew we had the two best people, and I was like, man, these people are fucking dead. I was like, I just saw red and I went to full beast mode, and I was almost like growling under my breath, like, oh, I'm gonna get you guys.
August, bro. I felt.
What do you think of that take, John? You think that's did you feel like you guys were the underdogs or not necessarily?
I
Or
thought
do you
our
feel like
team
it was
had so
pretty
much aura. I thought our team went where it was super stacked.
it was stacked. Both
Because
teams were honestly stacked. That's what
yeah,
was weird about watching that. I'm gonna be honest with both of you guys. I wasn't rooting for either of y'all particularly because I had really good friends on both. Johnny, I don't know if you know, dude, holy crap, my camera, bro. I don't know why it's
you're
off.
good, bro. You're good.
It's been on all day. But I don't know if you know, I'm sure you know Andrew. He was on your team. I was
Yeah.
pretty close with him.
Hmm.
And Mitch, I knew, Corey. I knew a lot of people on your team as well. And so it was weird
Yeah.
because I was like decent friends. I'm trying to fix my stupid camera. I
Yeah,
was
it kind of
decent friends
sucks
with so
having your
many.
friends on the other team. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Gary was on the other team, Rahel, I mean,
Yeah.
Johnny, I mean, Sonia. I'm like, man, Tawana, I wanted to compete alongside her
Oh,
in a future
yeah.
game. Like, I was so excited to compete with these OGs like Gage and all these awesome people. And then I'm like, man, like, either way this goes down, I'm gonna lose those opportunities, and that's just the name of the game. There can only be one, and that's when it comes down to the time, and you're just like, it's just how it is. You lose people in the game, and you just see your friends walk out the door.
Yeah, and I was gonna point out seeing August in the crowd without Josh, like because I knew that August and Josh were really tight as well. Like he was part of
Mhm.
that unit with Nick and Jonas. And I was like, shoot, man, I'm looking at all my homies without like their best friend. You without Nate. The same thing happened to me with me and Jack because Jack took the bribe as well. So I was like, dude, I've already missed my homie. But no, like that was one of the beauties of that challenge is because it was a war, right?
Yeah.
It was a like one stack team versus another stack team. And I remember looking at you like when we were at the very top after that crazy comeback with only like 15, 20 minutes left, and it was
Dude, that
like
was
we finally have
insane.
a little time to just like breathe. We didn't say much. We actually I don't think we really said anything because we were just trying to stay composed. And the sun is rising and the flag is right there. It was like it was unlike anything I've ever experienced in my entire life. We were both exhausted. We're both like anticipating who's going to do it next, and it was just that razor close. I mean, we were as tall as the towers for the bribe challenge in the following episode, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
and
we're
Basically,
I
about
yeah.
think
that
people
high.
watching too would assume it was like edited or something, but that like you know
Uh,
how close it was, but it was genuinely that close.
Yeah, no, that all happened in real time.
yeah.
The funny thing is when you like turn to your side, you're like, "What up, Mitch?" And then they take like a clip from like 3 hours later where I turn and look. I'm like, "Bro, I didn't even hear him say. I couldn't hear anybody." And a lot of things that they didn't show. Our tower fell like 3 times before I went up,
Yeah.
and then there's a huge long period where I'm like kind of like resting on top of the block, sort of like on a table or on like a desk
Yeah.
because that vest is just squeezing your body
Mhm.
so tight, your lower back, you feel like an 80-year-old man. And then your guys' tower kept like going up, falling, going up, falling like 6, 8, 10 times. And then I kept like I was talking a little crap. I was like, just give up, just go home. And then on the last try, you guys just made it as tall as mine. I was like, oh shit, guys, more blocks, more blocks. I was like, but they're catching up. Fuck.
That was a I one of the things I remember most about being on the blocks was I was trying to pull up a huge yellow block. We were in the process of making that big comeback. I had done a little motivational speech for my team just to fire us up one last time. And Colby said like, they're weak or you're weak. And like, I don't know about you. I don't know if you have any like sort of internal, like not necessarily self-hatred, but do you like when you motivate yourself, sometimes that negative energy like actually creates momentum for you where it's like, shoot, I'm
Oh,
gonna prove them wrong, dude. I'm gonna make sure that that they eat
yeah,
their words. And so I ate that stuff up. I was like, dude, that was just the fire I needed. I needed that sort of disbelief so that I can believe in myself and just like make that comeback. And unfortunately, I wish it would have gone the other way for me. Like it would
yeah.
have been super sick if I was able to, kind of close that loop and make that comeback. But I
I think
I
yeah.
left it all on the table, man.
I think my team recognized that that was happening to you because they're like Mitch, like stop saying that stuff. They're like you gotta stop. They're like you're firing them up, and I'm like, oh fuck.
And did you guys feel like you were this is an interesting question. I feel like that the game seemed like it was designed maybe for like less people, like they didn't anticipate that many people going to blocks. Do you guys feel like all of your teammates were useful, or do you feel like a lot of the people ended up not really having anything to do and they just kind of sat there? Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
um,
One thing that I mentioned during like our initial group meeting at the beginning of the challenge was, hey, we have a group of 20.
Yeah.
There's going to be a time where there are too many cooks in the kitchen. Like,
Yeah.
please remove your ego and please step aside if you feel like you're not being useful. And when I think about leading, just like in general, inclusivity is really important. So everybody feels like
Mhm.
they're a part of something, especially Beast Games. Everybody wants to feel like they're part of something bigger.
Of
And,
course.
everybody in the group chat laments not having screen time. So there were times where I was on the block where I was, calling out the person that was maybe a little on the quiet side, just saying, hey, how do I look? Or like, hey, am I stable? Just so, like they felt involved. But
Hmm.
we didn't need 20 people, right?
No, I
Maybe
feel like that was
maybe
like
this
an
team was set for maybe 10
eight
people.
people. Yeah,
Yeah,
10
eight to
people.
10
Yeah.
people. You're totally right. Totally right, Mitch.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd agree. I definitely the game is doable with maybe like 10-ish type people on each team. We had a similar circular huddle before the game. I'm sort of the person who kind of like made sure that that happened because the main thing I wanted to get across was exactly what you said.
Yeah.
There may come a time where there's too many cooks in the kitchen, or there may come a time where you feel like, man, looking back on my Beast experience, I don't feel like I've been in the show enough and I feel like we might potentially lose this game. So, in order for me to get my moment on camera, I might, put myself in a position to do something wild or crazy that secretly I'm not that good at, but I just got to make it on the TV show. And I told everyone, like, guys, this is if you're not good at something, you're not going to be doing that something.
Yeah.
Okay, you're the design team, you're the building team, we're the sprinters. You guys hold the base. Colby is up there. I remember, and this is not me talking trash at all. This is just from a lack of
He's bad
information.
to talk
Try.
trash.
Uh-oh.
This is just no, because I no. So this basically this moment happened based off of a lack of understanding of the game before they explained it fully to us. So Ella actually wanted to be the person pulling up the ropes, but that's before we knew we were tying the rope around the blocks, climbing up and everything. So we thought we would have to basically use our wingspan to grab the blocks and then pull it up. And I'm like, Ella, you're 5 foot nothing. Your wingspan is not going to reach around those blocks. You're not going up in that vest. And then once we learned what the game was actually going to be, she was like, "Thank God you didn't let me go up there because I would have I would have not done very well." Because she saw Colby getting tired up there, and she's like, "Man,
Yeah.
that looks way harder." But she was a
Yeah.
sprinter. Ella is surprisingly fast and strong. She
Yeah.
helped us with getting the blocks. Nikki was great. Even Luke, a backup sprinter, was amazing. We had all of our positions like laid out.
That's
Who's the
cool. You guys
design
had like
team?
positions for each person. I didn't really
Yeah,
realize
yeah.
that
And I
watching.
told people, guys, like, just stick to what you're good at. And if we communicate properly and we don't fight with each other, we can get the win. Unfortunately, about an hour and a half into the game, I step away from the being the base with JC and Amon and some other people because I think Jesse or someone's yelling at me from the sideline. It might have been Vance. He was like, "Yo, your team is like running around like chickens with their heads cut off. You need to get back in there and like manage your team again." So I get back and like Joseph is going off. Other people are screaming at each
Joseph was
other.
drawing all this stuff. Do y'all remember that?
Oh,
Johnny, you
yeah,
probably
I
never
heard
saw
I heard
it, but
about that. Drawing
Joseph
crazy
was looking like a little
pictures.
Pablo Picasso up there for a second. I was like, "Hey, yo, I didn't know you had that in you, brother."
he
And I'm
he
like,
was
guys,
drawing
we
like Jeff, and then he was like, I don't
yeah.
even know what he was.
I'm like, guys, we just need to calm down. Even though most of what you guys are saying is correct, the way that we're working as a team right now is tearing us apart, and we're gonna lose if we continue down this way. So let's just break down part of the tower that we know is not working. We had a layer of 3 blocks that was diminishing our height potential, and we just had to get back on track. So just reorganizing, calming ourselves down, putting ourselves back in the positions that were conducive to us being successful, and it ended up being great in the end. But there is so many times, like even when we fell the first time, I was like, holy fuck, we might actually lose this thing. I'm like, this is bad. This is really, really
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, that's scary. And that's kind of interesting too, because I don't know if this was like anticipated by the Beast team, but neither of you guys started out as the person on top, and you guys both ended up being the people on top. Did you expect that to happen, or was that kind of like a
No,
I
no,
did
I
not
actually
want
went
to
to
be up there,
everybody.
dude.
I went to like most of my team that, could potentially have been candidates. I went to Sonia. I went to Twana. I went to Jesse. I even asked Rahel, like, did anybody even want that screen time, want that smoke, or want the opportunity? And they were all like, no, you don't want me up there. Heck no, absolutely not. You look at
I'm
me.
surprised Tawana said that.
And you know what? Exactly, August, because I thought Twana would have been fantastic up there, but she
Yeah.
has a fear of heights. So
Oh,
I was like, and I
yeah,
was like,
that's
okay.
not
I'm
gonna
like,
go well.
I didn't want to become the person that's just like, oh, this is my opportunity to get screen time. I truly wanted to make sure other people had that opportunity and extended that before I
Yeah.
was like, all right, I guess I'm
Well,
doing it.
obviously, whatever's gonna get you the best chance of winning, because at the end of the
100%.
day, there's yeah, obviously the screen time's great, but there's $5 million on the line, and so what can you do to like get
Yeah.
further in the game? And what
I
a
I felt
what
the
a crazy
same.
game, dude.
I felt the
Yeah.
same way when Colby was gassing out, and you guys have seen like steam was coming off of
Dude,
him.
I'm glad they caught that on the shot too,
Yeah,
because in real life
It looks
he was
epic.
literally smoking,
he
bro.
was
There was
he was
like
he was literally boiling,
he
and
was.
then yeah, we because he just had to throw down blocks because the design wasn't good, then bring them back up, and it was
Hmm.
just mentally draining and physically. And after about 2.5 to 3 hours, he's like, guys, I'm coming to the end. Like my gas tank is emptying, and there's only so much you can do.
Mhm.
You even though if you're a super athlete, you have to know the time where it becomes diminishing returns.
Which good
And
on
then
him and good on Gage for knowing
Yeah.
when they want to
yeah,
sit
yeah.
down.
So like the team was kind of looking around like who should do it, and I was kind of like looking away so no one would like think of me or pick me. I was like, Ella, you want to get back in there, girl? I was like,
I think Corey would have been. He was probably a candidate too. I
yeah,
think
Corey
Corey
would
could
have
have
been
done well.
great too. He probably could have
Yeah.
done it, but I was looking around and no one just really seemed too sure of themselves. And I kind of thought like I probably have like the best, mindset and
Hmm.
ability to not fold under pressure out of the group that we have, just based off what I'm guessing. And
And were you guys mostly smart contestants on both sides? Is that right?
yeah, there's five
Nice, nice.
strong and five OGs, I think, in the total pool.
Oh,
So
really?
so
Wow.
30 of the 40 players are smart teams.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I did not want to go up there. I did not expect it. Like I said, we thought we were going to speed run the whole game in 30 minutes. And then fast forward 3 hours later, we're basically back down to zero. And I'm just like, this is proving to be way more difficult than we expected.
And they
And
told us after, Johnny, you probably didn't catch this. Sorry to interrupt you, Mitch.
yeah,
They told us after that game, they said there was a hack that none of you guys did that
yeah,
you could have done, and they never told us.
never told us. I even DM'd Klipsner and he still won't tell me. He's
Yeah,
like,
I
I
I'll
have
tell
no
wanted
you
to
idea
after
know,
what
the
he might have
bro.
show.
said. I mean,
I
my
I
idea.
think I figured it out. I
I
think
What
I
thought it
is
was
it?
figured it out.
taking the base block and turning it sideways. You had a bigger platform at the base. That was my only like guess, but I don't think that helped
No,
that
he
much.
said you could do it in like 5 minutes.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
No
He said
shot.
So
that he said the test team did it in 45 minutes of like random strangers, not like athletes. Like the random test team did it in 45 minutes.
so the only thing I can think of is that you build the tower up a little bit and then you just start throwing blocks at the flag and then not get it off.
Yeah, I
No, you're
actually
not
asked
allowed
you
to. You are
specifically
not
if we were
allowed to
allowed to
do
do that. We
that.
couldn't do that.
No. That'd be
I would have
insane.
been doing that since freaking,
Yeah, I was thinking, do I climb
11
up
p.m.
this? Do
Oh,
I
speaking
climb
of
up
which, do
the
y'all have
safety
blocks?
rope
I
on
just
my
realized I have
vest
this
and
on my
then get it?
desk. Do y'all have any of these?
Oh, bro, I just got
My,
PTSD, bro. Oh man.
mine's at my house in Thailand, but yeah, I have it signed by all the players in the that were left in the city by that
That's
time.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that, man. August, you're still in the challenge, man. You're still competing for that $5 million, bro.
I
What's
am,
something?
bro.
Tell me something that you're really proud of that you've done so far, and tell us something that like you're really excited for us to see.
Okay, so I'd say so far what I'm most proud of, and this is probably like a cliche answer, but honestly, just like the relationships I've built. And this is probably coming from like a biased standpoint, but I really did feel like my group up into this point, I really feel like we had like some of the strongest relationships. I don't know if
Yeah,
you guys remember this in the city, but I think everybody was kind of like intermingling and everyone was kind of talking to everyone, and I was too, but for the most part, our group really just hang out with our group. You know what I mean? Like it was Jonas, Josh, Nick, me, Pilar, Katie, Jack, Tyler Lucas, and a few other people. But it was very much like we only really hung out with us. And I think it was just cool that we kind of like put all of our eggs in one basket and it's worked out thus far. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people,
yeah,
their strategy is like, okay, well, I gotta have, like Mitch was saying when he came back from when he came to do the block challenge, he was looking around and like, holy crap, a bunch of my friends are gone. And
Mhm.
that happened to me too, for sure. But I think what I'm proud of is just that like we put all of our eggs in one basket and like building those relationships extra strong versus having a ton of relationships that aren't maybe as strong
sure.
just like worked out. And I just think it was cool. Like we just had a really special relationship, which I know a lot of people on the show really did. I'm not taking away from anyone, but
Yeah, and something really special about your team specifically is that it felt really natural. I don't think that any
it
of
was
that
not forced.
felt, it was not forced whatsoever. There wasn't like you guys trying to like, I don't know, gas each other up or gaslight each other into just being
Hmm.
best friends. Like you guys gelled really well together, and from the outside looking in, like I knew you guys were a force to be reckoned with. And I know that, and I know Andrew, when he was telling me a little bit about like
Because he was with he
being
was
on
like
your
going to be in
side.
our group at
Yeah,
10. Yeah, yeah. Which we didn't know him as well, but like we did know him. And Andrew's the GOAT, bro. He's cool.
he's so cool, dude. Shout out Herc, bro. Shout out to my homie
Yeah.
Andrew Herkelman
Dude,
right
he's
now.
hilarious, bro. I love that guy. He's so funny off camera, too. I'll just say that. Like, he's a funny guy,
He
bro.
needed more screen time for real, bro. He needed way more screen time. He's such a
Yeah.
good guy.
Yeah. He was
And
funny.
what are you excited for us to see?
Yeah, so going forward, so episode 5 dropped this morning, and if you guys haven't watched it yet, which most y'all probably haven't, I think what I'm most looking forward to is viewers being able to watch the gears turn in the contestants' heads. Because episode 5, spoiler, is the cube episode, and the way, at least me specifically, the way I had to think when I got into the cube, it I feel like I'm gonna sound like an idiot when I say this, but I feel like I thought harder than I've ever thought in my life. Because I was
No, that
sitting there and
makes
trying to
sense.
think, you know
That
what I
makes
mean? Like
sense.
I sound like a cliche strong person. I was like, think, but like
Yeah, yeah.
I was trying to think of something where it's like, um, what is a way where I can play a game that maybe seems chance based, but I actually have an advantage in this game that the other contestant doesn't really realize, and you'll see what
Hmm.
that is.
That's smart.
But it's going to be cool to watch all the contestants really push themselves strategically and socially, and that's what's so cool about the cubes and beast games is it pushes contestants to think outside the box. It really does.
Yeah, a lot of
And,
people don't realize that, or maybe they do, but they
and there's a
underplay it or
cool prize that's
underestimate it.
won during this episode too that nobody knows about yet. So
Well,
I'll leave you
my
with that.
seatbelt's fastened.
Yeah.
Shoot, dude, that's gonna be yeah, that'll be. I'm really excited to watch. Um, real quick to kind of wrap this up. How about everybody name like one or two super cool moments from the series so far? Mitch, if you have like a top three or like a top two highlight reels you're putting in for Beast Game Season 2, what do you
That
got?
that was shown or that was not shown?
That was shown. That was shown so far.
Oh man, I mean honestly, this is super like egotistical, but my favorite part in my favorite part in the show is when Jimmy says the experience of the pink team versus the overall strength of the yellow team, and you see me walk out with my arms like this it through the sand pit. And what they don't show is like that was the very moment after we made our entire team, before the team huddle, before we because all of our jerseys had different people's names on them. Like they weren't even our jerseys yet. We just had yellow placement jerseys because they didn't know who
Mm,
was going to be on each team.
right, right,
So
right.
this was like before anything. So I'm walking towards like the those cement, bleachers on our side. I had my arms out, and what they don't show is me going, "Are you not entertained?"
That's funny.
So like that little moment right there, I just love that right there. And I guess the second one would be my victory scream after the push up contest in the behind the scenes episode. So
Okay,
like people
okay.
don't know this,
Yes.
I did not win the first challenge. The netted bag that had my blocks in it exploded.
What?
Yeah, when I was on the pole, I
Whoa.
was I was untying my rope, and my rope wasn't even fully undone yet, and my blocks just, from my perspective, it literally looked like it V-clipped, like it invisibly teleported through the rope and just fell. And my blocks were falling in like slow motion in my reality, because in my head I'm just like, I cannot believe I just lost first round. I'm such a
Whoa.
failure. This is horrible.
I didn't
And
know that.
I'm looking down at the airbag. Everyone's just like, wallowing in their sorrows. So I'm like, I can't go down there with those fucking losers. No, I'm just kidding. But I climbed back up the pole with no blocks, and my hands are on my hips, and I had the most like angry facial expression, and all the camera guys swarmed me like TMZ. I kept trying to turn around so they couldn't record me, but I'm like, man, they're like, this can't be the end of me. This can't be the. I'm like, God did not give me this opportunity to lose round one and look so horrible and just not prove myself to the world. I'm like, there has to be something more. There has to be. And then I noticed like not a lot of people are making it back up. And so we got that extra side game for the push-up contest to get back into the extra slots. They needed 25 females, 25 males. And I'm like, once they said it was push-ups, I'm like, this is it. This is my redemption. Because I've been training push-ups every single day since the submission video. I fucking got this. And when we started to do the push-ups, my body was failing at push-up number 9. I swear to God, my arms were
Man.
shaking. My whole body was vibrating. And in my head, I'm just like, how is my body failing? I've trained so much. I'm so well nourished. I'm so in shape. I'm like, how is this physically? Is it the Celsiuses? Is it the time schedule? Is it the new food they're feeding? I'm like, what's happening? I couldn't explain it, but I just kept pushing through. Around push up 40, I got like a second wind, and I got my energy back. And once it happened, I knew I had it. And the last contestant, he was to the right of me. He was the sixth person to very last person to fall down. So once he fell down, the game was over. And I basically stand up. I'm just like, "Rah!" And I've just like flex my heart out. I scream so loud that I lose my voice for the next 2 weeks. So then by the time the talent show comes on and behind the scenes, I wanted to sing. I wanted to sing, but I could. I literally could. Even at that point, 2 weeks later, I had nothing. Like my voice was trash from that one scream. But that's one of
Wow.
my favorite moments.
August, what number push-ups did they get to? Do you remember?
It had to be in the 70s, I think.
It's like
70s,
70 something. I was
79
blacking
maybe.
out everything except up, down,
There
up,
were so
down.
many people that made it through push-ups that like I was friends with. Mitch, Brett,
Jim,
Jim,
Nick,
Nick,
Nick?
and Eric.
Eric. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was not expecting Nick and Eric. I'm like, these massive dudes just did 70 whatever push-ups. I'm like, these guys are forces to reckon with. It totally changed my outlook on them as competitors. And I was just like, I either got to get them on my team or I got to take them out at the legs, in the next
Yeah.
game.
For sure. What about for you, Johnny?
My two. Number one goes to Sonia for just that sheer grit,
That was cool.
willpower, determination, climbing up the pole for the first challenge. Like they captured that so perfectly, and like literally all of Team Smart was just like begging her to make it up, and it was
Mhm.
just phenomenal to see her finally
She
just get
killed
that
it.
dub. And she's just a great person. So shout out to
She
I
is.
was
Sonia for
right
that.
next to her.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
I was diagonal from her square, screaming at her through my hole.
I love that, man. She's great. And then my second highlight reel moment would be definitely watching Jeff grill JC on the island, dude. That was
Dude.
insane.
Oh,
Oh my
dude,
gosh.
it was more than that when you were there, bro. They were going
Dude, I want
back
to
and
ask you
forth and
about
back
that,
and
man. I
forth
wish
and
I
forth.
was there, bro.
Yeah.
How did that go down?
Dude, it was crazy. And
Man, you're
JC's a
so
good
lucky,
dude,
dude.
but he cooked himself at tribal because he might have been being genuine, but his whole spiel is that he doesn't regret taking the money. That's his whole spiel.
Yeah.
And then he went back on that when there's a million point eight in front of him.
Yeah.
He had a small chance. I think Ian probably had the edge, but he had a chance. But he really sold tribal. I'm gonna be honest. But it is what it is. Everyone makes. I made plenty of mistakes in the game up until this point, and you guys obviously both made mistakes in the game. You're not gonna play a perfect game.
Yeah, you
But
just
him
have fun
going
while you're there.
him
Be
going back
thankful.
on the like, yeah, I regret doing that. Not a good move because the day before he was saying the opposite, and his whole speech, in episode one, which they don't show, but his whole speech is family first. I don't regret it. Um, yeah. So yeah, those are good
Wow.
moments, Johnny. For me, I'm gonna be egotistical like Mitch, and say obstacle course, and not necessarily because I
Dude, your
complete.
dance. That I
That was
love
so
that
funny,
shit,
dude. That
bro.
was awesome.
And,
That put the biggest smile on my face, man.
and that's why it was my favorite moment is our celebration. I hit that dance and they show like clips of it, but we were freaking out because this top 25,
Yeah.
we were bugging out. And so uh Nick and Tyler's like on the first platform. So Jack runs out to him. Tyler takes Jack and chucks this dude like 10 feet in the air. Then Nick does a backflip off the edge. Katie does a backflip on the edge. And again, it's really quick. They do show it quick. But I'm looking at Tyler and I'm like, bro, like, what should we do? What should we do? And he's like, shrugs his shoulders and dives at me and like spears me off the edge.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't jump in the water. And then they pulled all five of us back up onto the platform. Again, they don't show this. And they're like, you guys are officially top 25. And then we all jumped in again. And they're like,
Yeah.
stop. We
That's
just kept
hype.
jumping in the water. It was so fun. So that, and then I'll say in episode one, the Jack growling scene, because
Yeah.
that's so him. And for people that don't, I guarantee you 95% of people that watch the show were like, the hell was that?
Yeah.
But for us, it was so funny because that was so Jack. Like
Yeah.
we would just sit around all day and just BS and bust balls, and it was just so funny because that was such a big part of the games for me. It was just sitting around on that grass field or by Starbucks or wherever and just
Mhm.
dorking around. So those are my two favorite moments. But yeah, it's gonna be fun to keep watching the
Yeah.
show.
That's funny because like only we know like the almost like the full spectrum of
The lore,
each
yeah.
person's personalities and why clips make sense to that individual. And that's why like doing videos like this and interviews are so great. So
That's
the
fun.
audience can kind of see like how we actually are, not just little blips here and there. But
Mhm.
man, that's just so Jack. And this little insider thing, do you remember the race, the jack off?
Yeah, I
Man,
do. And then Jack,
Bro,
well, that's the thing too. Jack outlasted the rest of the Jacks. We were saying
Yeah.
that too after we were
Yeah.
like, you lasted the longest.
That
Because
was the
one took a
funniest
bribe.
one.
What did two Jacks took the bribe?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we were like, Jack, you lasted the longest, bro. Like out of all the Jacks.
Yeah, it's so funny here being in a group of 100 people just going jack off, jack off.
Yo.
That was so stupid. All right, boys. It was fun catching up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a blast. Hey,
Yeah.
you know, I'll have the tags in the description, of course, but just for the world, I'm at Johnny Mucho on, X as well as Instagram. Mitch.
Official Vellucci. Vellucci is Valluxi. That's my R&B singer artist name. You can find that on Instagram through my link. You can find my TED Talk shop, school, animal rescue ranch organization, and all the other cool things I do.
If you guys want to find me, it's pretty much just August Auger on all socials. AugusteAuger. Thank you
Excellent. Hey,
guys.
appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
Sir.
Peace.